on vacation in Disney World? Super magical.
Planning a vacation in Disney World? Not so magical, stressful, complicated.
But what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way?
When it comes to planning, you have to think about tickets, dining reservations, hotel reservations, lightning lanes, dining plan, and so much more. It can feel really overwhelming. I go to Disney World almost every day, and I still feel overwhelmed about all the things you need to plan for. So we're gonna walk through the process of everything you need to know for 2025. When it comes to planning a Disney trip, it can be pretty difficult to know where to start. The first step we recommend is to choose how much you're willing to spend before you do anything else. There are a lot of ways you can do Disney. Some of them are affordable, and you can make a lot of cuts to make that affordability happen. And a lot of them are astronomically expensive, and then there's everywhere in between. The other thing that's helpful is knowing some of that Disney World vocabulary so there's less confusion when it comes to planning. Disney World vocabulary. Cast member means a Disney employee. My Disney Experience is the free app you can download, also part of the Disney website, that can help you plan everything you need to plan for Disney World, your Disney account, wait times, maps, and info you'll need for your trip. Lightning lanes are a separate line that lets you skip the standby line to wait in shorter waits when you're in Disney World. Those are paid access. Lightning Lane Multipass is the usual way you will skip lines in Disney World by purchasing a service for a date-based and park-based fee to skip lines. Lightning Lane Single Pass is another tier for the most popular rides in Disney World that are not included in Multipass and have a separate ride-based and date-based fee. Lightning Lane Premier Pass is a very expensive option that lets you skip the scheduling aspect of Lightning Lane Multipass and ride whatever Lightning Lane you want to whenever you want to. One time each for each ride though. This works at one park at a time and works one time for each applicable ride. ADRs are advanced dining reservations or reservations you make in advance. Virtual queues are special queues you can join in My Disney Experience to be able to ride rides like Tiana's Bayou Adventure or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Quick service and table service. Quick service are walk-up food counters. Table service are sit-down meals. And Magic Band. This is a special bracelet you can purchase that connects to your tickets as well as your Lightning Lane reservations so that you can scan in at the park entrance, and sometimes they do some special effects around the park too. That's the vocab. Do you feel learned?
Let's talk budgeting. Budgeting can be difficult to do once you're on vacation, so I recommend getting your budget all lined up before you make it to Florida, unless you live here. Then get it lined up before you go to Disney World. By setting a budget and having the right expectations, you'll be able to actually enjoy your trip instead of being stressed about the money and the spend the whole time. Now, we can't choose your budget for you, but I can give you some tips when it comes to making your budget. Don't be afraid to skip a day in the parks. Do some park days and some pool days. This can save you money on the park ticket and mean that you have some time to enjoy your resort. If you're staying for enough days to go to all the parks you want to, consider skipping the park hopper. It's a little bit of an extra spend, and it can be great to do the parks one day at a time without the stress of going between them. Buy Disney gift cards slowly before going on your trip. You can purchase Disney gift cards over time so that the spend doesn't feel as much, and then you surprise have a good amount of money saved up by the time you make it. My stomach is hurting from laying on the floor like this. Oh. You can also try to buy your gift cards at discount places like Sam's Club, Costco, and Target, where you might be able to get a more expensive gift card at a little bit of a discount so you get some money for free. Consider skipping the Disney dining plan. The Disney dining plan is an option where you basically prepay for your food in Disney World. It is a nice option that means you can do a little bit less thinking once you're in Disney World, but it's kind of difficult to get your money's worth. You can check out our full video on the Disney dining plan from last year on the channel now to see if it might be worth it for you. But I typically choose to skip it. On the other hand, with food, bring your own food and groceries. Eating in the hotel a bit can be very helpful in saving some money. Check out our channel for different strategies for rope drop so you can skip paying to skip the lines. There are plenty of ways to get short lines, even on the most popular rides, without paying to skip. All of our most recent perfect days on the channel do not use Lightning Lane, so you can see what we did to make sure that we weren't waiting in too many long lines. When it comes to the kids, check out the free activities they offer for kids around Disney World and buy your souvenirs ahead of time. When your kid is begging for the $30 Mickey plush in the store, you maybe have a $15 one you can give him instead. And consider staying off property. Though I love the Disney hotels, they do come at a premium, and there are plenty of places to stay off property or even basically on property in the Disney Springs area that are much cheaper. A personal favorite of mine are the Swan and Dolphin hotels, which are located in the same area as some of Disney's most deluxe hotels, walking distance to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And they even offer the extended evening hours perk, which is only available to deluxe hotel guests. So I love staying there, can recommend. It is cheaper than a deluxe Disney hotel. I'm getting off the floor now. Taking your dates. That's the next step.
Eagle-eyed viewers will be able to know how old this calendar is and how inaccurate it is. For reference, I'm filming in December 2024. So we know how much we're spending, we've set our budget, but when are we going to Disney World? Slow times in Disney World are kind of non-existent, and crowds have been more unpredictable than ever pretty much since the COVID pandemic in 2020. If we have to pick some of the slowest times in Disney World, we're gonna go with January 2nd until just before President's Day, the week following Thanksgiving weekend until the week before Christmas, and from the end of August until October tends to slow down because of school starting back. Now, we can't guarantee that these times are gonna be slower, and we've seen some unpredictably high or low crowds at other random times of year, but these are the tried and true times. If you're looking at the summertime, no worries. You can still have a lot of fun in Disney World when it is a little more crowded. Just get ready for higher crowds and higher heat, and make sure you learn some of the strategies for navigating the parks when it's crowded. We have plenty of videos that can help you. My personal favorite time to be in Disney World is February because the weather is beautiful, it's a little on the chilly side, and crowds tend to be lower. Now, with our budget and time frame in mind, it's time to pick where we're staying. There are so many hotels to choose from in Walt Disney World, and this is where your budget is really going to come into play. You can pick between value resorts, the cheapest, moderate resorts, and deluxe resorts, the most expensive. Value resorts will be the best bang for your buck, but maybe not as many amenities or the nicest rooms. Moderate resorts are slightly nicer and more expensive, the middle value. And deluxe resorts are going to be the nicest, highest amenities, and most expensive options. Obviously, budget plays the biggest consideration in what level hotel you get, but there are other things to consider too. How large are the resorts? Are there mobility concerns in your party? Do you need to consider a preferred room, requesting a room that is more accessible, or maybe choose a smaller resort? How important? Hemingway. He caused an issue. Hey, stay over there. You also might want to consider transportation and how close you are to the parks you're most interested in. Some hotels offer direct monorail transportation to Magic Kingdom, some have Skyliner to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, some are walking distance to the parks, and some you'll be stuck with just the bus. And if you're a foodie, you'll want to consider the restaurants that these resorts offer as well. Depending on what you value and how much of your budget is dedicated to the hotel will depend on what tier hotel you go with, and maybe even down to exactly which hotel you choose. If you're looking to go even more budget friendly, you might want to Disney Springs area hotels. These hotels are third party, not owned by Disney, but still sometimes offer the perks, shuttle services to and from the parks, all at a cheaper price point. Now, if you're torn or feeling overwhelmed with all of the different options of where to stay in the Disney bubble, I have actually stayed at every single Disney World hotel. I have a video ranking all of them so you can hear a bit about the pros and cons. And then when you have some that you're a little more interested in, you can check out any of our full video tours of every single hotel on the channel now. We also have a What You Need to Know series, which are quick 10-minute bite-sized videos about each hotel that can help as well. But now that you've chosen your resort, we've got to book it. So the first thing you're going to do when you're ready to book your Disney vacation is you are going to go to the Walt Disney World website and click Places to Stay. From there, you can enter the days you're checking in and out and tell Disney how many people are coming with you. You'll hit Find Resorts, and then Disney will show you the availability of the resorts. You can then choose the one you've decided on, and if you want to do a Disney World ticket package, we will talk about those in just a second. From there, you can choose whether you want to do the package that includes tickets or just do a regular room rate. Continue to check out, and boom! You're going to Disney World! It's a super easy process online, but if it sounds a little bit confusing to you or you have any questions, you can always call the Disney Resorts Reservations line at 407-939-1936, and they'll be able to help you with anything you need. And remember to keep an eye out for special offers, which could discount a hotel room. You'll see these pop up as you're taking a look. Then it's time to buy tickets. Buying tickets for Disney World is actually pretty simple. First, it's important to know that there are multiple types of tickets. There are the one theme park per day tickets and park hopper tickets, which let you go to multiple theme parks each day. There's also Park Hopper Plus, which can add water parks to your tickets if you want to visit Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon. And then of course there are other options like annual passes or specially ticketed events like after hours parties, holiday parties, and more. Now, one way to buy tickets is that you can buy them as a part of a vacation package when you're booking your room. As you're checking out, it will offer you a Disney vacation package, and you can select how many days of tickets you need and for how many people. Then you can just check out with the room and the tickets all tied together and you're done. If you decided to stay off property or need a little bit more flexibility with your ticket purchasing, you can also buy the tickets separately. For this, go to the Walt Disney World website and click Parks and Tickets. Then scroll all the way down and hit All Tickets and Admissions. This is where you're going to find all of your different ticket options.
From there, select the ticket you want and the number of days that you're headed to the parks. You then click on the calendar to select when you'll be using your tickets. After that, put in how many tickets you need for adults and kiddos, and you're done. It's a super quick process, and most ticket types do not need Disney park reservations, which is a separate park reservation system that things like annual passes and non-date-based ticket users need. If you do the process we just talked about, you will have a date-based ticket, which does not require Disney Park Pass reservations because Disney already knows what dates you're planning to head to the park. If you do need to make reservations, I would recommend doing that immediately when you know your trip is coming, and you can do that in the My Disney experience online or in the app. Now that we know when we're staying and how we're getting into the parks, it's time to talk about what you want to eat. Now, there are a couple of different restaurant types in Disney World. There are lounges, quick service restaurants, and table service restaurants. For lounges and quick services like Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe, which is where I currently am with Breedlove and Angie, you do not need to worry about reservations. These spots are walk up or first come, first serve, even the lounges, things like Geyser Point Bar and Grill at Wilderness Lodge. But for any full sit-down table service meals, it's likely that you're going to want to utilize advanced dining reservations. For Disney World, you can book your dining reservations up to 60 days in advance of your trip. And there's a little boost if you are staying in a Disney World hotel because you can book 60 days in advance of your check-in day for the entire length of your trip. So if you have a 10-day trip, you could book 70 days in advance for that last day. The window to book opens at 6 a.m. on that 60-day in advance date. So mark your calendars and set those alarms to make sure you can get the highest demand dining options. Really high demand options include really themed things like Cinderella's Royal Table or Space 220. It also can include just really popular restaurants like Ohana or California Grill, and it can definitely include anything new. To book, you'll head to the Disney World website and click Things to Do. From there, you can click Make Reservations and select how many people are in your party. I recommend being on a bit before that 6 a.m. time if you have some harder to get dining reservations. You then select your date and your time, so Disney will tell you what options are available right then and there. And they've actually made a lot of improvements to the reservation search system, so you can actually search date ranges. You can search the whole range of your trip to see what dining reservations are available those days. Once you find a time and date that works for you, you'll select that restaurant, let them know of any dietary restrictions that you might have, and then it will take you to the confirmation page. Since you're already logged into your My Disney Experience account, it'll fill out that contact page for you. Now, like with many things in Disney World, be sure to have that credit card ready so that you can place the hold on the reservation. And a few restaurants actually do require you to pay for your meal up front as well. Those are really specialty things like the Hoop-Dee-Doo dinner review dinner show. Once you hit confirm, you're golden. You are all set for that dining reservation. Most restaurants in Disney World have a cancellation policy where if you cancel more than 2 hours in advance, you're totally fine. But after that 2-hour window, you can't cancel or modify easily. And you might have a cancellation fee. You can also do all of your dining reservation booking on the My Disney Experience app, and it's pretty intuitive there, works almost the exact same way as it does on the website. You just hit the check dining availability button. Another big note is if you do not get a reservation you were hoping for, do not give up hope. People are constantly changing their plans and their reservations, so keep checking back and you never know when a spot might have a reservation open up. You also can always try day of to use the walk-up wait list, and if you get there right when a restaurant opens and try to tap into that walk-up wait list, you're likely to be able to be seated. My tip that I'll share here is that my favorite thing to do is have about 1 table service dining reservation a day. I like to use a lunch one because even though it does take a chunk out of the day, it's a great way to get out of the heat and sit down. And whether or not I'm using a full table service reservation or maybe just popping by a walk-up lounge like popping out of Magic Kingdom to Steakhouse 71 or Wailulu Bar and Grill, I love having a meal as a big break from the day. And my family does like to have one fancier meal during the course of the trip, California Grill being our favorite. And if you need to know more about what restaurants to book, go scroll through our YouTube channel. We have reviews of tons and tons of them. Like I said, I've eaten at almost all of them. And also, if you want a recommendation, go ahead and ask me in the comments and I'll get you what I think. But now I must deliver you back to home, Quincy, where she will tell you about preparing for the trip because she's not in Disney World yet. And boom! Now it's time to head to your ear wall and prep for the actual trip. You don't have an ear wall? Should get on that. Prepping from home for Disney World mainly consists of planning out the things you want to do and packing. After you decide how you're planning to get to Disney World, plane, car, train, roller skates, unicycle, hoverboard, walking, I can't think of any other modes of transportation, submarine, blimp, spacecraft, you can plan for exactly what you want to pack. To make this a little easier, we've compiled a list of our recommended things to pack, and you can find that link in the description. My main suggestions are the comfiest shoes you can find, and do not wait until Disney World to break them in. Rain gear, it does rain year-round in Florida, but especially the rainy season, which is about like March to September. October-ish. A sweatshirt, just in case the temperatures do get wonky or you're in a really cold air-conditioned room. A portable phone charger and a reusable water bottle. But go through the whole list to see everything that our team recommends. And if you're wondering what to wear, go ahead and head to @AllEars.style on Instagram, where we have tons of recommendations of ways to dress for the parks, where you can feel fashionable and functional. I don't know why I did that like it was a slogan. It's not our slogan. It's not a good slogan. And while you're packing, you can throw on some AllEars YouTube videos in the background to start thinking about that list of priorities for when you do make it here. Our biggest tip for planning what you want to do in Disney World is to pick your top 3 priorities. Have everyone in your party do this and do it for each park. Your top 3 in each park. Those are the things that you know you want to get done. They're the things you'll prioritize and make sure they happen. Everything else after that gets to feel like a bonus because everyone has gotten through their big 3 in each park. And for those bonus things, you can make a smaller list if you'd like to be more planned, or you can kind of wing it if you'd like to go a little bit on the lam, on a spree, on the whim. By having this list, it helps to create realistic expectations, so if things go wrong in the parks and on vacation, as they typically do, nothing can go perfectly as we hope it does, then you know how to prioritize the things that are most important to you and make sure you don't leave the trip with regrets. And if you aren't quite sure where to start, I recommend checking out any of our Perfect Day series. We have so many where we've experienced the park in many different ways, and this can help you figure out what might seem best for you to experience. Welcome home, and just like that, your countdown is on. You've done everything you could possibly do to plan your Disney vacation, and now we can't wait to see you here. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and now go check out more of our awesome content for planning in 2025. We'll see you there.